Utah officers, specifically two white Utah officers, they see a black male bleeding to death and they do absolutely nothing to assist, and the man bled out. Let me show you a picture of the victim and his sons, okay? He actually has 4 sons. 39-year-old Ryan Outlaw is the victim of 2 white Utah officers who decided to stand over this black male after he was stabbed. They stood over this victim for 8 minutes, refusing to give first aid. Because of the officer's deliberate inaction, the victim, Ryan Outlaw, died 2 hours later. Outlaw's girlfriend, Fernando Tabor, called 911 the night of November 13, 2020, asking for help because Mr. Outlaw had been stabbed in an apartment building. Another call came in from a neighbor notifying the police there was a fight happening in the hallway, per Fox's report. Tobar told the police he was crying for help and limping toward the elevator. Now, let me say this. When I watched the video, unfortunately, we're unable to show it in this format. It was very clear the officers had absolutely no inclination to save the life of this victim. As a matter of fact, when the girlfriend said, "Why are you letting him bleed out like this? Why won't you help him?" One of the officers responded and said, "That's not my job. Paramedics on the way. All right, that's not what I do." I'm paraphrasing, that's basically what they said. Officers Ian Anderson and Jada Brown arrived 27 minutes after the 911 call. Ryan Outlaw already waited approximately 27 minutes for police to arrive after that call. According to the Salt Lake City Police Department, the reason the response took that long was because there weren't any officers available to respond for 20 minutes. It was not immediately known by officers that Tobar, the girlfriend, was the stabber. However, even Fernanda was pleading with the officers, talking about the young woman who stabbed him, was pleading with the officers, please help him. "What am I supposed to do?" the officer said. "We have medical coming. We're not paramedics," Officer Anderson said. So what is happening here? The girlfriend stabs the guy. She's remorseful because obviously he's going to die without intervention. So he's bleeding out. They're all witnessing the same thing. They're witnessing a man die in front of them. Police arrive. The police tell her, "We're not going to do nothing. That's not our job. Paramedics on the way." There's more. Ryan Outlaw died at the hospital less than 2 hours after police arrived. The officers were trained and capable to give first aid. They were, but they chose not to. All police officers undergo, all of them undergo 4 hours of basic first aid and CPR training and complete an 8-hour critical tactical care class, according to Utah Peace Officer Standards and Training. It's called post certification, okay? We know now that these officers not only were supposed to act in a way to preserve life, they were trained to preserve life. They decided to ignore their protocol, to ignore their departmental policy, and to ignore their training, and they allowed a black man to bleed to death in front of them. All right, Attorney Lawrence, thoughts here.
It's so incredibly disappointing because, again, as you noted, those officers had the training. They knew that they could potentially save his life or at least delay the rush of blood just to protect him in some way, and yet they chose not to. And the thing is, when people get to choose who gets to live and who gets to die, it really just speaks to the callousness of our society, especially when it's constant, or it seems to be overwhelmingly people who do not look like these police officers who are the ones that they choose not to help save. And when you call police for help and for assistance, you'd expect them to automatically send someone who is there to assist, to help. But this is often what we get.
Yeah, and these officers had a great opportunity to bridge the divide between community and cop. What did they choose to do? they decided to make it even wider. All right.